Hello, welcome to this May online class organized by University of Pattern Drafting. Thank you very much for signing up for this class. I believe that thus far you found this class very helpful. So this is our third class and it's going to be the cutting video of how to draft the pattern for these sorts of shorts with side pockets and front flyer. So on to the class for today. I've gone ahead to place my pattern onto my fabric and I'm just going to go ahead and cut. Remember that we had already included all of the allowances on our pattern, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut out. So this is my front pattern. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pockets, cut the flap area, and then cut out the waist. Remember that it was only on the waist we didn't include any allowance, and I explained why we did not include allowance in previous videos. So this is me cutting out the flap. I folded the fabric into two. Remember that there was one portion of the flap that I said we're going to cut on fold. So that's the portion that I placed on the folded edge of the fabric, and I've gone ahead to start out. So now I'm going ahead to cut out my pockets. This is the diagonal opening of the pockets. Can you see that? So I've bent that over. This is 4 layers of fabric, by the way. Do you understand? So I'm folding that out and I'm cutting out that diagonal opening on just one layer. That's the first layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip the back and cut it on the last layer. Do you understand that? So I'm cutting it out on the last layer. Please ensure that you don't just put your scissors through and cut all 4 layers. Do you understand? So I'm going to open this up so that you see what this looks like. So see what it looks like. Can you see that? So this is what the pocket looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on my front short portion. So this is what it looks like. I'm just trying to find the right side so that you would understand what I'm trying to do clearly. So this is the right side, and I'm going to, this is what the pocket is going to look like. Do you understand? So one portion of the pocket must be the same fabric. Do you understand? Because remember that we cut out the pocket opening. So this is what it looks like. We cut out the pocket opening on the main fabric. Do you get? So you have to use the same fabric to make that up. So that's what it's going to look like when we join the pieces. This is my band. So you can see how the band looks like. It's about 1.5 inches. So eventually by the time I join it, the band width will be like 1 inch. And I've gone ahead to iron fusible interfacing onto that. And then I've also I've ironed in one side of it, like 1/4 inch. Can you see that? So one side is shorter than the other. So this is me stitching up my pockets. So I'm first going to stitch up that diagonal pocket opening. So you place the right side of your fabric against the right side of the pocket um fabric. Do you understand? So right sides facing each other and I am stitching. So I'm going to flip this up so that you see. Can you see that when I flip it, can you see what it looks like? Can you see that? So you can see that our pocket is already forming nice and smoothly. Can you see that? So you can see the opening. And then I'm going to go ahead and close up all the other sides of my pocket. So this is me closing it up. So I'm closing this up and then I'll close up the other side too. Can you see that? So it's just pretty easy if you pay attention, and I hope this is actually clear. So I'm flipping my pocket over. Can you see? So this is what it would eventually look like. So you go ahead and iron this out properly. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side of the front. So same thing, right side of your fabric against the right side of your pocket. Do you understand? And then place the diagonal side against each other. Can you see that? So I'm placing the diagonal sides against each other. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stitch. So after stitching, I'll flip this over and show you what it actually looks like. I've tried to make this video as slow as possible so that you would understand what I am doing here. So can you see that I've flipped it over? and then this is what it looks like. Do you understand that? So I'm going to turn the other sides of my pocket. Can you see? I'm going to close up those sides too. So it's not like you put something into the pocket and it will fall out. Do you understand? So I'm closing up those sides. So I hope this course has been helpful so far. It has been um, a very good opportunity to share knowledge, and I'm really happy about this. But I hope this has been very, very, very helpful. If you found this class helpful, please ensure that you drop a comment on the group. So this is what it looks like after I have turned it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and iron this out very, very well. Remember that ironing is a huge part of having a clean finishing. So I'm going to go ahead and join the middle. So this is my back. I have gone ahead to join the middle of the crotch area of my back. I keep saying middle, the crotch area of my back. And then I've also imputed my dart. I don't know if you can see that. So the length of my dart at the back is 4 inches. So that's my dart. I've gone ahead to 4 inches. So I've gone ahead to do that. And then this is my front. I'm going to go ahead and I've gone ahead to iron. So in ironing, please ensure that you put hemming gum in between the pocket and the main fabric. Do you understand? So that that pocket will sit well and remain in that position. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my flap area. So for my flap now, there's facing and then there's the flap. So that's the flap that we cut, and then this is the facing. Do you understand? So the facing is just a rectangular fabric, a piece of fabric. I'm going to use black eventually. So this is it. So on the right side of my trouser of my shorts, there's going to be facing. Do you understand? That's where you put the facing. So you just place the right sides of the facing against the right side of the fabric and turn and sew it up. And then on this left side is where the flap is going to sit. Do you understand? So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fix both. So this is the facing. This is what it looks like. And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. So right sides facing each other. And then go ahead and stitch. So this is me stitching right sides facing each other. So I'm marking 6 inches. Do you understand? From the waistline. So mark 6 inches and let your sewing stop at that 6-inch mark. Do you understand? So I'm flipping this around and this is what the facing looks like. Can you see? I'm sure that this already looks familiar. So we're going to go ahead and stitch the flap portion. So to stitch this flap portion, you have to put the zip in between. So this is the flap. This is, remember that it was cut on fold. So that's the folded edge, and that is the other side is the rough edge. This is my zip. So I'm going to place the right side of my zip facing the right side of my fabric. Do you understand that? And then I'll now place my flap on top. So this is me marking 5 inches. The length of the zip that I want in front is 5 inches. It shouldn't be so long so that it doesn't obstruct things. So this is the right side of my zip facing the right side of my fabric. Do you understand that? So can you see I've placed it this way? And then I'm placing my flap on top. And this is the rough edge of my flap. That's the side that is not folded. Do you understand? So can you see that? This is the way you would arrange it, and then you sew up to that 5 inches mark. So this is me sewing. So this is that 5-inch mark, and then I'm stopping, locking my stitch at that point. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? You can already see that it has formed, very, very well and nicely. So after sewing it up, I'm going ahead to just top stitch so that it just lays flat, nice and smooth. Can you see that? So I've top stitched. And so this is what it looks like. Can you see the flap is coming out the way it should? And that is my zip. So now I've taken the other side where the facing is. Can you see that? Please pay attention. No. So now I'm placing the part that has the facing, fold the facing in and place it on the other side. Can you see that? And make sure that it covers the zip. Do you understand? Because these sorts of front flyers, they cover the zip. Do you understand? That's the essence. It actually covers the zip in front. So I'm just going over this again. Place it on it and then ensure that it covers the zip, and then lift your main fabric. Your main fabric, or don't lift the facing, just lift the main fabric and pin that facing to the zip. Do you understand? On the other side, can you see? Pin it to the zip. Only the zip. Don't pin it to the zip and the flyer, just to the zip. Do you understand that? So after pinning that to the zip, this is what it will look like. Can you see? So you now go ahead, and this is what the back looks like pinned. Can you see? Ensure that you don't pin the flyer. So I'm placing this on my sewing machine. Can you see? I flipped this over and I'm placing it on my sewing machine. I'm going to sew along that point up onto that 5-inch mark that I marked. Can you see that? So I'm sewing on top. Ensure that you don't sew the flyer with it. So I'm sewing it and then I'm going to go across. You're going to have to sew on top of your zip. Do you understand? And stop at the center seam. Do you understand? So I hope this is clear. This is what it looks like when I open this up. See, I'm opening up my zip. Do you understand? So I'm going to go ahead and sew up the remaining side. Do you understand? What is remaining up to the crotch level. Do you get? So you go ahead and sew that up. So I'm sewing this up. So please just pay attention to everything. If you pay attention, you would actually get, what I'm trying to do. So I'm sewing it up and I'm going to stop at where we stopped sewing the zip. Can you see that? Where the sewing of the zip, the flyer area stopped. Can you see that? When you are sewing yours, you would actually understand what I did here. So you can see when I open up the zip. So thanks for watching. Please watch out for part 2 of this class and I'll be uploading that shortly. Thank you.